Turn attention to other stories now. One major recurring incident that has continued to be a cause of concern is tanker explosions in parts of the country. This is January. More than 100 lives have been lost due to tanker explosions. In this report, senior reporter Ayomi Ajegbe takes a look at the recent incidents and efforts to avert a recurrence.
On October 15, 2024, a petrol-laden tanker overturned near Majia village, Taura local government area of Jigawa State, spilled its contents into drainage. The resulting explosion claimed the lives of 181 persons and left 80 individuals hospitalized. Barely 3 months later, on January 18, 2025, another horrific tanker explosion occurred in Diko, Gurara local government area of Niger State. A 60,000-liter petrol tanker detached from its head and exploded, killing at least 86 persons and causing untold suffering. Just a few days ago, a petrol-laden tanker exploded in Ibadan, killing the driver and injuring one other person. According to reports, the tanker lost control, collided with two other trucks, and overturned into a nearby pit before catching fire. I was at the office of the sector commander of the Federal Road Safety Corps in Lagos, and he unpacked some of the remote causes of this accident, which has to do with outdated tankers that are not roadworthy and poorly maintained.
Some of these tankers, the materials used in fabricating some of these containers may not have conformed. I use the word may not have conformed with the minimum safety standard. And these, I think we should look inward, not trying to throw blame to any agency or organization, by the Standards Organization of Nigeria, to ensure that the manufacturer meets the required standard before being put to use.
Negligent driving practices, bad roads, overloading are all explained as major causes of these disasters, with emphasis on public sensitization and government practices.
If you load from Lagos coming to Abuja, imagine the number of times you will match break due to traffic, due to potholes, and due to diversions. So in the course of doing all that, you would of course find that most of the brake pads are worn out, and it is the trailer and tanker. You keep the tanker and the trailer keep moving left, right, and you imagine what happened.
Many a times, people talk of bad roads. People talk of bad weather. It behoves on the driver to know the kind of material or load you are transporting from point A to point B in an attempt to maneuver, dodge something depending on your speed.
Concerns have been raised on communities and residents who have been told to avoid crowding around accident scenes involving tankers, as this increases the risk of casualties in the event of an explosion.
As much as there's an outcry to tackle incessant road accidents involving trucks and tankers with a quick fix, experts have raised concerns that there should be a much more longer-term approach with fuel transportation to be used via pipelines instead of road tankers. Ayomi Ajegbe, TVC News, Lagos.
And President of the National Association of Road Transport Owners, Lawa Yusuf, joins me on the news at 12. Good to have you join us.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Just looking at the sheer scale of the number of tanker explosions we've had in the country, the number of lives lost and those who have been maimed forever, it is quite concerning and worrisome. Within your association, have you done any assessment as to why there is an increase in the number of tanker explosions in the country?
Well, it's very unfortunate. We really commiserate with the general public, especially the community, as well as the country at large. We have done analysis. Even before this incident, I have communicated with the relevant authorities in terms of the management of distribution of petroleum products across the country, including the Minister of State Oil at the meeting, and I told them that we have issues as transporters of petroleum products across the country. And one of the many issues, one is the issue of bad roads, is a very serious concern because contrary to what some people are saying about the quality of the trucks, even if you have a brand new truck today and you come all the way from Lagos to Suleja, you imagine the number of diversions, hot potholes, and issues. Even at that, there are issues apart from the road, issues of driver fatigue, which we are handling, and the issue of insensitivity of general public, especially when accidents occur. And this is not peculiar to only petroleum product trucks. We have some cases where some trucks will carry some goods. Once the vehicle falls down, what the people will rush to, instead of even to help the driver, and probably the motorboy.
But Mr. Yusuf, if I may come in here, because I want to stay on the drivers and I want to stay on what your association can do. We understand that people also try to siphon fuels from these tankers. But for your people, you have talked about the issue of roads, and I think that if you listen to our report, the comment made by the FRSC official did make a lot of sense, because he said, of course we know that these roads are bad and government should fix them. But if you already know, you ply this road often and you know the state of these roads, doesn't that, behove on you to be a bit more careful while you're driving? And because sometimes they say overspeeding is also a problem.
No, you see, I appreciate the fact that the condition of the road, but the drivers, let me tell you, you can only drive overspeed when the road is clear. In a situation where you are struggling to survive, to maneuver, how can you overspeed? Most of the vehicles, we work hand in hand with the Federal Safety Commission, and most of the vehicles, almost all, they have what we call speed limiting device. And the Federal Safety Corps also have what you call safe to load checks. Before a vehicle is loaded, they will have to check it and confirm whether it is good for loading before they load it. Part of those safety load checks is the issue of speed limiting device. The drivers cannot overspeed under this circumstance, under the conditions of the road. I'm not saying there are in every situation you find some bad eggs, but even those bad eggs that do such kind of overspeeding, like they claim, we tackle them. We have...
so, Mr. Yusuf, we know that there are myriad, apologies for cutting in, but we do have to go. We know that there are myriads of issues contributing to this. Like you said, you are speaking to stakeholders. We also hope that you all reach an agreement on how this can be curtailed. Thank you so much for your time. President of the National Association of Road Transport Owners, Alawal Yusuf.